Hey, my lovely. Little topic that feels really important for 2020. Really, for all time. It's a human condition. It's something I think we all experience, some to more of a degree than others, but depression. When depression hits us. I got walloped with an episode of depression not too many weeks ago. And it lasted a distressingly long time. And this isn't really normal for me. Depression isn't usually my go-to. It's not my jam. I'm much more on the other end of the spectrum in anxiety. A lot of fear running through me. And depression is not a very familiar experience, and it really feels hopeless, dull. It was rough. But I want to talk about the way that I handled it, dealt with it from a fiercely committed spiritual perspective. My hope is that if you're listening to this and depression is something that you battle with, or maybe something that you're dealing with right now, that you can put these very simple tools into practice for yourself and gently, slowly, grace-filled way ease yourself out of that depressive state, because it's not very fun to be depressed. It's kind of awful. So I noticed myself falling into the grip of depression. And at first I wanted to fight it. I didn't want to be depressed. It felt like something wrong. Like I was wrong. I was doing something wrong. But the work I've done with spirit over the years is all about presence with our emotional experience and really letting ourselves have our emotional experience. And I've done a lot of work around disconnecting our ego, our mental story around our experience. So in fighting my depression, I realized what I was doing was I was playing into an ego story. That's wrong. I'm not supposed to feel depressed. That's wrong. That's bad. So I gently released that story, and I started to get really present with my very sort of numb emotional experience. I really took it into my body as much as possible. For me, my depression was focused around my heart. So whenever something is in the heart, when I feel it physically in the heart, to me that means it's grief, dealing with old grief. And it really just bubbled up really strongly. It made me listless. I had no energy. I had no real interest in very much. And if you know me at all, you know that I'm a pretty high energy person and very engaged with what I'm doing in the world and how I'm doing it. So getting present with that emotional experience, when I accepted it, I was able to clear out what I needed to clear out for the duration of the depression I was experiencing. See, emotions are meant to be fully experienced and expressed, expelled in the moment. And the more we sort of deny it or hold it down, the longer it hooks in without ever getting its full expression. So it doesn't go away. It comes up again and again and again until we really let ourselves feel it. So my job, this is my job here, is teaching and channeling and healing. And I run a school through the Bhava Spiritual Mission community, which is our digital church. And I'm very hands-on in that community. We have a WhatsApp messenger group, and I'm in it all the time, and I'm teaching classes and doing one-on-ones with people. And what I was able to do is send a broadcast out to my community and said, this is what I'm going through. I'm feeling really depressed, and I'm just going to have to show up for the essentials, and the rest I'm backing away from. I didn't want to be part of the group. I didn't want to do very many one-on-ones. I would show up and teach classes, and I didn't want to try and turn on, I didn't want to do that. I just really needed to disconnect from the world. And it was really, I felt like it was in getting present and into acceptance of what I was feeling, that I was able to have the clarity to ask for what I needed from my community, from the people in my life. And they were, because the Bhava community, and they're the most amazing humans on the planet, if you ask me. They were so gracious, gave me the space I needed, showed up if I needed. Everybody was willing to talk, but that's not what I needed. I needed to be present. So that's what I did for weeks, is I just got up every day and I stayed present with my emotions. I disconnected from a story when it showed up, which was whether it was a story of poor me, because boy, depression will take you down that way. Why am I depressed? What's going wrong in my life? Or this is wrong, bad. I need to not be doing this. I need to push my way through it. Instead, I stayed present with it. That doesn't mean I didn't do anything. I realized that I needed to hook in with something. And for me, depression feels like a really grounding experience. Like it's really pulling you back into your body. So feeling into my body, feeling the heaviness in my body, I decided to hook in with my body, to let that be my anchor point throughout the day. And I really wasn't going to focus on too much else. If I was able to sort of get up and do stuff and have some energy, great. If I didn't, I didn't. I would be in bed or I'd be sitting. Maybe I wrote a little bit, maybe I didn't. I really allowed myself a whole lot of space, but I anchored it in with my body. And I think that is the most important thing, one of the most important things that I did. First, I got present and into acceptance of what was, which is crucial, okay? Because it is what it is, and you really can't change anything if you're not in complete acceptance of what is. That doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean it's acceptable. It means you're in acceptance. All right. So I got into acceptance, and then I hooked in with one thing that I could use to anchor me in the world, to not spin off into my stories. And because this is my practice, my spiritual practice, when I notice a story come up, I do my best to disconnect from it and give myself the experience, not the story. And so that took a lot of work during this depression. My mind wanted to go all kinds of fun places, right? Like it does. Not fun places. So I hooked in with my body, and I was able to do the sun salutation every morning, and I juiced. Juicing has changed my life. I'm so glad that I went through this, if just to get on track with juicing. I am a total convert. I will juice every day for the rest of my life. I had no idea I was running on such low capacity energy-wise, and now I know, and I won't let myself get there again. And so, I did very little, and I really gave myself permission to disconnect as much as I could. I still had to show up for the essentials. I'm teaching classes. I posted on Facebook. I wrote things. And on social media, because social media is a big part of my spiritual work, but I didn't make myself do videos. You haven't seen a video from me in a long time. I would show up and do Bhava Sunday service, but then I would disconnect after that. I'd be exhausted because I'd turned on. But these were the essential things that I showed up for. And gradually, as I gave myself space, as I practiced becoming present in my emotional experience and in my body experience, and I anchored myself in by just taking care of my physical body, nothing else, just taking care of the physical body, only showing up for the essentials, bit by bit, incrementally, I came out of it, and I edged out until I was able to birth myself through to the other side and move through that depression. And when I did, that depressive episode gave me a break, okay? Because I'm the person that will go a million miles a minute until she drops. Does not moderate well. It gave me a break. While it wasn't the best way to take a break, I don't think, not the most fun, it did give me a break. It helped me get back in touch with my body and get more healthy because I used my body as an anchor point. And it gave me a tremendous amount of clarity because of the intense contrast about how I want my life to feel and what I want in my life from here on out. It helped me understand in ways that I couldn't before how I have been playing small, putting myself in tight little containers, living a life that is in many areas, that is out of alignment with my highest expression. It made me understand, as I came out of that, from that presence into the presence of the new feeling, how big and bright and shiny a soul I am capable of being, and that I haven't been. And that doesn't mean that I'm getting into story and beating myself up about it. It doesn't mean that I'm rushing to change everything in my life. No, because I was able to slow down, I'm carrying that gift out into the rest of my life, and I'm moving with intention from the heart. I'm executing when it's appropriate, when it's a go. but things are going to be shifting, and I can feel they're going to be shifting. And so this depressive episode, I can see the gift in it now. I couldn't see the gift in it when I was in it. And for you, if you're going through this, you don't have to see the gift. You don't have to get into, let's just be grateful, let's see the silver lining. Fuck that. You're depressed. All I want you to do is let yourself feel the depression. Disconnect for the story. You don't have to know why. You don't have to blame anybody. You don't have to blame yourself. You don't have to judge yourself. Just bring it into your body. Where do you feel this heaviness in your body? And just sit with that and just be. Clear as much off your plate as you can and give yourself that space, because clearly you need it. There's a gift in this that you're going to see on the other side. Just know that you need it. Okay? Get present. Get out of story. Clear yourself, and you're going to move forward and get clarity. And I really encourage you to hook in with one thing. For me, it was the body. I think that's really important. Hook in with the body. Just do a little bit every day. 1 or 2 things that you do every day for your body that anchors you. For me, it was a sun salutation and it was juicing. Figure out what it is for you and go with it. I hope this is helpful. Depression is a doozy. It's not fun. And if you need help, if you need support, you know where to find it. Okay? Sending you all my love.